I made a huge business mistake, and I am here to share with you the mistakes that I made, so hopefully you can learn from my failures. Here's what happened. I am the VP of marketing at a software company, Conversa, and I have made a few hires, and for those hires, I made the mistake nowadays, a few months after hiring them, of not holding them accountable to KPIs, and it's my fault. And what ended up happening is that they weren't doing the right activities and didn't know that they were doing a good job because I didn't track important metrics. Here's what happened. I hired a paid media specialist. This guy is running ads on Meta, so Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, those three places. And his goal is to generate leads that eventually convert into clients. I also hired somebody as a organic socials. So she manages our LinkedIn, our Facebook, our Instagram on the organic side, as well as does a few other small tasks related to that, content calendar, etc. These two people had very clear KPIs when I first brought them on, that you need to get leads, and then for the social media manager, it was metrics like follower count, engagement, and then yes, leads that come from like bio link clicks and things like that. But it was very clear, hey, if you're doing these actions, you're making these posts, then that's green check mark. And if that leads to these impressions and this engagement, check mark, you're hitting KPIs, you're doing great. Then what happened? Well, because I had recently started as the VP of marketing, tons of things came onto my plate. I was supposed to do this project and this event, and all these things came up. And what ended up happening is I didn't have the right structure in place for them to keep track of their KPIs. And so 2 months passed and it kind of slipped away. And then I realized today when I had one on ones with them, I talked to them, and from both of them, it was a clear sentiment: I don't know if I'm doing a good job. And we talked about these KPIs, and I just don't know what to do with them. And I made the mistake as the leader of not giving clear expectations up front and then keeping them accountable to what those metrics were. How did this hurt us? This hurt us because we got less results on paid ads and organic socials because both of them were trying to figure out what was the best thing to do rather than just follow the metrics that would guide them to exactly what the action was to generate leads for our business, which is software. The result otherwise, we could have had, I don't know exactly, but probably at least 50% or maybe double or more leads if we had been tracking the right metrics and I held them accountable so that they knew day by day that I supported them more and that they were making the right actions that lead to the desired outcome. How did this hurt the business? I ultimately am responsible for leads. If I do nothing else as the VP of marketing at this company but get leads, they are happy. Thumbs up. Go, Jonah. Your team is doing great. And our leads have been okay, but they've been a little under quota. Now, they were significantly under quota when I took over, so the goal was we got to ramp up first. So there has certainly been improvement from where we were, but it still isn't where we want it to be quite yet. And what this taught me to do is I need to, as a leader, it is not a bad thing. In fact, it makes you a good leader to hold people accountable. But it's hard because I like you. You've become my friend, and I don't want to seem like I'm pushy or a bad boss. So I'm going to kind of give you some more space and freedom. Plus, I got all these things on my plate, so it's easier if I just give you some space. But what ends up happening is then they're like, well, I'm posting and I'm following the content calendar, I think, but I don't know if I'm getting good results or not. And am I doing a good job? I don't know. And then a few months pass and you realize, oh my God, I'm making a mistake. I got to go back and fix this. And then you can get things back on track and you have to reset expectations, but it's so much harder to reset expectations. And you're going to fill out these KPIs and we're going to meet on this and you're going to do this each day just to make sure that we're moving in the right direction. It'll take a few minutes, but it'll absolutely be worth it. And you have to reset all those expectations, and that's hard, and it takes a lot of work. And if you just did it up front and did it consistently, you would get far better results. It would be easier to manage, and they would be happier because they know I'm doing a good job in my role. So that is how I made a mistake that cost us, likely in terms of leads, thousands of dollars in closed revenue and a lot less leads results than we would otherwise have, and what I'm doing to fix it. Hopefully this helps one other person who's hiring, has employees, or has had employees or similar who has gone through this challenge, and it makes a difference for you.